Gentlemen, we just need to go over a couple of things today. We're sort of taking what we learnt about protractors and taking them to a little bit of another level. So I want you to look at a shape like this one in front of me. On a test, you might be asked to measure, let's say, this angle here. Now, I just want to go over something very, very quickly, because I think some people are getting themselves a little bit confused. When we measure the angle, we're looking to measure the angle between those two angle arms there. So where my orange highlighter mark is, that's sort of the angle that I'm measuring. To start, you need to get it so that one of the angle arms is horizontal. So I've got it now that this one's nice and horizontal. And you can see when I put my protractor on top there, it's just too small of a corner. See how difficult it is to read what's going on here? So all that you do is you take your ruler and you extend the angle arms, because when I do this, I make it super, super clear what angle I'm actually trying to measure. So I've made it nice and clear now. I've still got my orange mark there that shows me that I'm trying to calculate the angle between those two angle arms there. I already know how to use a protractor because I'm all over it. I watched my protractor video. I worked hard last week to master it. So if you aren't at that stage, I suggest you go back and make sure that you are. I'm going to line up that middle point, make sure my line's lined up, and then I can easily see that that angle is 50 degrees. So make sure you are using that trick to extend angle arms. It really does help, especially when you've got nice tiny little gaps like that. I also want to look at a different type of question that asks you to do this. It might say, you know what, I want you to draw me angle arms that are 5 centimeters long, and I want you to draw it so that the angle itself comes to 45 degrees. I just want to show you how you can do that just using something as simple as a ruler and a protractor. The way I start is always just by putting down my protractor and putting it flat. And I put one dot here, and then I'll line up the middle crosshairs so that my dot is right in the middle of those three lines. I'm going to go and put a dot on the 0 degree mark so I know where to start my angle arm from. And then I'm just going to follow it around. I'm using the inside numbers now because I always start at 0. And I'm going to go to where 45 degrees is and just put a little dot there. Now I know that if I line up these, I've got an angle that is 45 degrees. I know that because I've used the protractor to calculate that for me. So I just draw that. That is a 45 degree angle. Then I can use my ruler to go through and measure and make sure. Look at that. It just so worked out that that is almost exactly 5 centimeters. If I found that it was a little bit over, I could use my rubber just to rub it out a little bit. So that's really as simple as it is for you using a protractor to draw angles. You just do, and even if you wanted, let's say it said, give me angle arms that are 2 centimeters and give me one that's 70 degrees. I would again put a dot to start my angle, join up the middle, put a dot to show where it starts at 0, put a dot on the 70 degree mark, and then from my starting point I can just measure out 2 centimeters. And as long as I've got my ruler lined up, sorry you couldn't see that, as long as I've got my ruler lined up, I know that I'm going to be right. So you measure 2 centimeters one way, 2 centimeters in the other direction, and you can say I am sort of rotating my book a lot. I'm turning it around, and that angle down the bottom that I've drawn, that's a 70 degree angle with 2 centimeter long angle arms. And you can see I could continue that as much as I like and I wouldn't really change it. Yeah, make sure you're getting really good at using your protractor. You should be able to use it to not just measure angles, but also draw some of your own if it asks you to.